Let me show you, scry you. Let me give you what you need. I will take you to your shadow. You will make me bleed. Cold as glass, unbroken, and reflective too. When you look at me, my darling, all you see is you. Mirror, mirror on the wall, time to say my name. You like to have me hanging around just for your own gain. You'll never look to what's beyond the surface. You'll never feel this dance holistically. That's okay, because I'm not quite what you're thinking. You are the monster, but my love, I am the sea. You are the monster, but my love, I am the sea.
We are live. Welcome back to Defluenced Podcast, live edition on Defluenced Radio and Cast Garden. I'm here with with the extinguished
Alan Taylor.
and we also have back with us again Mr. Kencode. Hello, Ken.
Hey, y'all.
And we're going to continue our discussion about the Hive5. And
we're on 2B this week. Last
2B.
week we talked about 2A. Now we're on 2B, or not 2B. A little shout out to Shakespeare, my fellow bard.
For anyone who wants to follow along, who's listening in, I set up a shortcut link to the latest weekly post on Hive5 project. If you go to hive5.info, just go to hive5.info, and it'll take you right to this latest version.
And hey, before we get into this too, I want to mention that you guys that are listening, if you come up with an idea or you have an opinion or a thought, don't be afraid to throw it out there on a comment, either on the post, come into the Defluenced Radio's Discord, and throw it in there, start the discussion. I don't know how many people are in that Discord server, but there's a lot. It's not a very a lot of people talking in there, so you're going to get noticed when you throw your opinion out there. There's also the Agorize Matrix server. You can pop in there and voice your opinions. It's not like we're just trying to keep this a wall. We're asking for your opinion and your thoughts. Don't just, it'll go a lot further for you and us both if you don't just downvote or upvote the post and then walk away. That's a total cop out on it. We are wanting a discussion here. That means you come back with us, and we can go back to you, and we can mash out the ideas, and this is how you make things better. You don't just throw a nameless face on an upvote or a downvote.
Yeah, I think it's a courtesy to, when you downvote something, just say, hey, this is why I'm downvoting.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not a requirement, but it certainly is a courtesy. And like I talked about last week, there are reasons people might reject or oppose a proposal. And and this one has 13 downvotes on the post. And as far as I can see, none of these people said, hey, I'm downvoting this for this particular reason.
Yeah.
And, it would be cool if they did, but even then, I think this is pretty good evidence that some of these people are downvoting for one of those 6 reasons that I mentioned last week.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
It'd just be nice to know if they what their reasons were.
Yeah, don't just lob your grenade over the wall and it's just that's how it feels. Actually, it's just like, okay, well, what was the reason for that? What do you disagree with here? I mean, we have 13 points now.
Yep. On
this document. This is a living document that is now in version 1.3.1. So, like Hive.
Oh, you added the bit about witnesses.
yeah, that's the 13th point, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hive Watchers had said, don't keep posting this over and over, basically, in not in those words, but he said, Hive Watchers or guilty parties, he says, reposting previous posts or parts of them without significant additional original content is considered fraud and exploitation of the Hive rewards pool. Publishing such content may result in the account being blacklisted. Please refrain from copying and pasting previous posts going forward. My reply to that is, it's a lot of work to write a document, especially one of this magnitude. I mean, geez, man, we got 13 points on there now. This is a huge document. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of work to write a document and write the version, revision, amendments to it every week. That is worth at least a couple of bucks. Plus, gathering votes on the amended document for review and re-review are extremely important if you want to accurately determine consensus for the final document and get some eyeballs on it. Yep. Then I also continued. I said, I'm not going to make people go to this link for this version and then go to that link for that revision, and so on. One link to the most current version is the best way to go about this, which is why I made that hive5.info, because this is a document that I don't want to send people, okay, click here, then click there, then click this, then click. Fuck all that. Just go to one link, hive5.info, and I'm always linking that link, hive5.info, to the latest, most revised, most amended version of this document, which is now in version 1.3.1. So at some point, we're going to finally reach a consensus when everybody agrees, yep, I think that this is the best way forward for these 13 points, and we can actually get things done.
Yep.
I guess you can deny or decline payouts, on a post.
Yeah, I'm going to, just to maybe see if that makes him happy. I mean, this is whole nother level to this thing. But like I said to him, I said, you feel, however, that I should work for free. I said, well, thanks a lot. Okay, fine. I'll burn all rewards on these weekly Hive5 posts. We're trying to help Hive grow again, in case you hadn't noticed. So this is, don't ask for rewards on it. I mean, what did I have on that post? Like $1.50 in rewards, and it took me damn near a week to write this freaking thing and get all the verbiage correct into the most accurate document that I could write. And I gave it this name, Hive5, and I explained why at the very top of the document, why I gave it that name. This isn't just me. This is a Hive community, but somebody had to do this.
Yep.
Somebody has to get off their ass and make these changes and try to bring people together, because this is a lot of stuff that people agree, like, look, we're tired of this, man. I'm tired of the fear on the Hive blockchain. This is it's gone too far now.
Yep.
And a lot of people are really being hurt by this, financially, emotionally, just in every way you can think of. And Hive is not growing. So something has to be done. And some of us feel like, okay, fine, then we will step up to the plate once again and try to get things moving forward for Hive. But yeah, I'll tell you, I'm reaching my limits here, so I'm about to. Yeah, I'm doing everything I can here for Hive, but we'll see.
Ricardo Maestro says he wishes he could be here, but he's on his way to class. So.
Oh man.
So, anyways,
that's going to be pretty nice if we can have call-ins.
Yes, it will.
Where you just call in, bling bling, have an old school phone sitting there and goes bling bling. Defluenced Radio, may I help you?
2023, and we got rotary dial. Excuse me, my beeper's going off.
Oh, beepers.
Yeah.
All right, let's not waste people's time here. All right, so 2A, like Alan said, we finished 2A last week. Let's get going on number 2 Bravo this week. 2B.
Yep. How much income is affected from post or comment votes?
Right. So how much income will be affected? And there's 4 points, and one of them has some sub-points on it, but let's just go through the first one here. How much Hive you earn or lose with votes, upvotes and downvotes, should not be based on Hive power anymore.
Yep.
Hive power delegation must be individual. Hive power delegation must be time limited, and Hive power delegations must be constrained. Otherwise, without fail, oligarchies with combined endless power are formed.
What do you mean by constrained?
Contained. Within limits. And right now we have really no limits on it. So if I delegate to you, it basically just lasts forever. And over time, people die or they leave Hive for a while or whatever. And you'll get these curator accounts and other accounts with just endless growing power. And I hate that term too, Hive power. So everybody is striving for power.
Yep.
I can't stand that. Like, can we just please call it staking and unstaking? I have a stake in the system. This is how much stake I'm going to give you, and this is how long you'll be able to keep it and use it. You know, it's kind of like giving someone a loan in a way. I want my money back, but I want something for that, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Okay.
I don't care what you call it. The concept is the same, but I understand your point. Yeah.
It's a mental
all right, number 2 on how much income is affected from voting. The amount of Hive that is given to or taken away from a post can be weighted by one of these 4 following ways. Okay. And I say can because, look, I'm really hoping that people will pitch in here and say, yeah, that's a good idea, but let's tweak this a little bit or change it to this amount and base it on a weekly or monthly instead of a daily. And we need input. I'm not a freaking rocket science here. I'm trying to, you know, just from my personal experience on BitShares and Steam and now Hive, what I have seen, what works and what doesn't, especially over time. I mean, everything okay there, Alan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hawthorne got a little excited. I don't know. It wasn't anything you said, I'm sure.
He's throwing his little 2 cents in.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, he's been a bit vocal lately.
He wants more doggy biscuits.
More human biscuits.
There you go.
All right. The amount of Hive that is given to or taken away from a post can be weighted by 1, the average price of Hive in dollars over the prior 24 hours of the post, rather than being based on a time zone. We'll refer to that time frame as today, quote unquote. Okay. So when someone posts a comment or posts a post, the clock starts ticking. So that begins the day for that time frame, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
If the dollar price is unavailable from APIs or from site scraping or something like that, then the last 3 days USD price gets averaged. Okay, because sometimes, like we want to get the price of Hive or the price of Hive dollars or whatever from CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap or someplace like that. But what happens if their site is down or their API is broken or something like that?
Yeah, I was going to suggest, what's your source for the Hive price? Is it a single source, or are you going to use a multi-source?
I hope not. Yeah, I like to have backups for my backups. Like in everything
and what if
that we
those
code.
sources disagree?
Yeah,
if you
right. That's why you got to average it out, I think.
Yeah, so if you say I'm using CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko, and they're off by 3 cents between them, what do you take, the average?
That's how I would do it. Yeah. I'm like, okay, well then what's the consensus then on what the price kind of should be? Just average it out.
Makes sense.
My concern with that is, when you start tying things to the price of a cryptocurrency, I think you increase the likelihood of volatility for that token, for that coin.
Well, with less sources there would be, for sure. But there's a lot more, not block explorers, but market cap sites out there now that we can refer to. But just, for example, like Tether. Tether, as we know, is totally fraudulent, but it's one of the most stable coins that are out there. So, we use that for numerous different things. But you couldn't base your calculations of value on, say, the Hive dollar. I mean, Hive dollar is a joke, in my opinion. It's all over the place. It's not stable at all.
Yeah, it's not tethered 100% to USD. It does fluctuate. All of them fluctuate, though, to some degree.
Mm-hmm. I think at some point, and this is for a topic for a different day, though, is actually using a basket of currencies, like the SDR or the XDR, to actually determine pricing. When you average it out across multiple currencies, I think you'll get a more stable definition of value on a specific NFT or a coin or Hive or whatever.
Yeah, that was the thought process behind a famous social media website's approach to a digital currency a few years ago.
Yeah.
What are you yelling at me for?
I don't know, just for the hell of it.
I was monitoring.
Okay. All right. So the next point then. So we definitely need a lot of input on that point right there. So in the Hive5 document 2B, number 2.1 would be, that's a doozy right there. On to the next point.
That's a big doozy, because what you're talking about doing really is changing the fundamental code structure of the blockchain.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yep. So the amount of Hive that is given to or taken away from a post can be weighted by the remaining daily budget available for upvotes for today, quote unquote.
I do have one question about that.
Yeah.
Is that for the remaining available budget for upvotes for today per the individual user, or all across the board?
Well, initially I say no.
It just popped into my head because I'm always watching.
Well, what I put in the first point up there was, though, it's based on, first of all, the post. So I'm going to be able to do how many votes per day with the available budget, right? What if I just go click, and I upvote? Actually, I think I mentioned that down here a little bit lower. it's been a few weeks since I've looked at this section, but yeah, the amount that is left has to be distributed evenly among the active non-bot users for the day for that particular post or comment. Okay. So it's getting, so yes, I get, yeah, I always have to say yes then, Bonehead.
Okay.
What,
I was just, it just popped into my head that I wasn't
but
really
still, it's not based on Hive power though.
Right.
It's based on the available budget for the day. If we have $10,000 for the day, or just, you know, $500 is actually available for anyone's comment or post for the day, upvote or downvote, $500, right? Mm-hmm. That's where it's actually coming from then. So yeah, it's going to be based on the user and the post. Okay. If that makes sense.
Yeah. It does.
I think it does. Yeah, it's very hard. See, the thing is, like, this has to be, the verbiage on this has to be absolutely perfect, because I can't have coders make any changes to any code without the absolute logic defined, you know, and outlined.
Yep.
You know, like everything that we do here is outlined in outline form in our job doc, in our job descriptions and stuff. So if you can't describe what you want your app to do, I mean, really, really granularly down to that grain of sand level, the coder is going to be like, yeah, but what happens when this happens? Or what happens if the user clicks that? Or, you know, like, you have to think of every possible edge case that there is when you're coding this stuff.
You have 10 million if-then statements.
Exactly. Else if, else if, else if, else if. Yeah. For real. So, and that's difficult, man. You know, and then your else condition at the very end says, otherwise, just do this. You know, but that final statement has to be fair for everyone too. So, true. And transparent as well. So, okay.
Sorry,
so number 2 was the remaining daily budget available for the votes for today, upvotes or downvotes. Actually, I should amend that just a little bit, I think. And then divided by the number of active users on the chain in the last 24 hours. In other words, sorry, Alan, go ahead.
Yeah, so, well, I think that's an interesting one there, because, you know, somebody's active, but they're not active every day. You know, if they
for sure. I defined active on here too somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, here
you can have an active account that maybe somebody posts a couple of times a month. They comment maybe once or twice a week, but they're not on the chain every day.
Yeah. Yeah. Do they really know what's going on, you know, with this project or that project, or
are they just there to reap the rewards for?
Yeah, and some people are, and that's fine. I mean, some people come to Hive just for getting exposure, earning an income, or they enjoy the whole democratic process or whatever, mob rule, well, whatever. I mean,
it was designed with that in mind. So, I mean, the whole promise is to monetize your content.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Where did I define that word? Because somewhere else on this document I defined active. Users that have done at least one power-up. This is the definition of active, which I put in number 9.6, actually. Maybe I should have defined that way up here in 2B, apparently. Anyways, I defined active users as users that have done at least one power-up or a stake of at least 10 Hive within the past 3 months.
That's pretty low.
Okay.
I mean, and I just pulled that number out of my ass. Both of those numbers, actually. The 10 Hive isn't really a whole lot of money. Even,
so,
you know.
So that definition applies to all of these points?
Yeah. And non-bot users, which I define bots in another part of this.
So in that scenario that I described where someone's, you know, they're active, but they weren't active in the last 24 hours. They would still be an active user by this count.
Yeah. So at least you're powering up something. You're staking some of your coin into the system. At least a little bit of something every 3 months. That's not so much to ask to be qualified as an active user. I was like, okay, yeah, you're here every once in a while. That's good enough. Yeah, you can vote on stuff. I mean, you kind of know what's going on, but you don't have this, typical democratic mob rule thing going on. And then the curator accounts, well, I'll just upvote it, 300 times or 13 downvotes on you, and it's actually only one guy. This kind of crap, just that, in my opinion, that has to stop. All right, let me go back to 2B up here. Okay. So now I was going to say, in other words, the value of everyone's upvote or downvote today, quote unquote, because of Hive dollar price fluctuations, will be equal, but also worth less and less as today's, quote unquote, allotment is depleted. So each day, right, the 24 that 24-hour period on that particular post or comment, right, now has this much budget allocated to it in that 24-hour period, and then it becomes worth
so that's
less.
Like the early bird catches the worm type thing.
Right.
Yeah, it keeps you more tuned in.
The more
what's going on, right?
So the more active the user is, the better off they're going to be.
Yeah.
I can do.
I'm not really a big fan of that. You know how Twitter does that? They what do they call that? Attention. Trying to keep your attention on Twitter. Don't leave Twitter. Stay here and watch your videos, and
YouTube
stay here and read
too.
more on your wall, and just keep scrolling down forever and ever and ever. Look at all these posts, that attention-getting thing that they use.
They all.
So,
keep your eyeballs peeled here so we can make more money.
Yeah, of course, and that's how definitely it's working over there, or not working in their case. Haha. Okay, are you guys ready for number
so my
3?
thought on 2 here.
Yeah.
Let me say this. I thought here on 2B2, this whole thing here. I'm thinking, the earliest adopter. My reputation's 79. I think the highest I've seen on the chain is 80 so far. And I've got, $500,000 or HP in my account. I'm a pretty big guy on the chain. I'm totally against this.
Yeah.
Why would I want to give something up that I enjoy?
And that is definitely something that I thought about a lot before even starting this thing, because I said to myself, no whale is going to vote on this. They're not going to want to start limiting their power.
No, right. And to be honest, I think it's actually a good idea to reward those who have been here long, contributed value over a long period of time. That's what Hive Power does. It's what it was designed to do. But it can be abused.
Yes.
And so I think the challenge here is how do you reward those people who have been here a long time? They have contributed a great deal to the blockchain. You can still reward them without giving them total power.
Yeah.
To just do whatever they want and obliterate everyone they see with the click of a vote, right?
Yeah.
We've talked about that. So there should be a fine balance there, I think.
Right. That's a huge point that I make in here about, yin yang. There's no balance anymore, if there ever was.
Maybe on day one, when nobody had huge Hive power on day one. but it was accumulation, and the name of the game is accumulation. Somebody's tagline on one of their accounts, I don't know who, but I saw their tagline is accumulate as much HP as possible. That's their whole goal. You go to their account, that's what it says. The goal is to accumulate HP. That's it. And that's pretty much the design of the blockchain, to encourage that mentality.
Yeah. You're cutting out on me.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Alan's cutting out pretty bad.
I am?
Yeah. He's cutting it out.
If you've got anything using if your computer's doing anything else, Alan, shut it off.
To me it sounds like a signal.
I've shut down my, I shut down Discord. I didn't shut down Discord. I shut down everything else. Okay. Let me just restate that. So, I saw on somebody's account, their tagline was accumulate as much HP as possible.
Yeah.
I don't remember who it was. That's irrelevant, really. But that's kind of the mentality, I think, that the blockchain encourages, the way that it's set up. We're encouraged to accumulate as much HP as possible. It's kind of the name of the game.
Yep.
Yeah. If you give it it doesn't bother me at all. What bothers me is the word power, because you get, I would like to have a nice stake in the system, because I get rewarded with 3% or more interest rate by staking, by giving my money to the bank. They give me a small return on that investment, right? On that risk.
Yeah.
And that's acceptable to me. And so I see staking as the same thing here, and I find it very important. I've mentioned before too that 20% interest rate on your dollars I think that needs to change, come down a lot, and actually give people some time too to leverage, to get deleveraged from that, because as most people know at this point, the petrodollar in its current form is going away, so it's being replaced by the CBDC system. So you're going to be seeing like 1,000x less value of the dollars that you're holding. So in my opinion, people need to start getting out of Hive-backed dollars sooner than later and buying Hive with it, and then powering it up. Put that money to work.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be laughing. It just occurred to me that CBDC would make a great name for a rock band.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
It's CBDC.
What does it stand for?
I don't know.
I don't want to know. Never mind. Dirty minds in this room. Let's just stop right there.
Okay,
good.
Number 3.
Stop while you're ahead.
Yeah. Number 3.
All right, number 3. Okay. Downvotes, when possible, will return that proper equated amount right back into the daily budget for use by other upvoters, taking place in that day's time frame. Why? Well, imagine the Hive blockchain only has 50 posts and $50 available to distribute today, quote unquote. If one post gets 1 billion upvotes, then those upvotes must be worth less and less as each one comes in, so that other users actually earn something. No one post can earn more than that post percentage of the total posts that have been placed in the last day. Downvotes reversing or returning funds also helps to increase a new user's income. Did that make sense? I understand
that. Yeah, I'm not sure I understand it.
All right, so I'm upvoting you and you get $1. This guy downvotes you, you just lost that $1. Okay. That's kind of the quickest way, because there's $10 available in the budget for this particular post now, for this 24-hour period. So, yeah, so the money goes back into the rewards pool for the day for that downvote. So, because if you've got one guy that can come in and just downvote a guy's look, he got 50 upvotes, but he got one downvote, right? But those 50 upvotes gave him $50. Hey, that's awesome. Obviously, a lot of people liked it. One guy came in, downvoted it, and completely took away your $50 from you. How fair is that?
So it should be the one downvote should have only taken away $1, not the entire 50.
Or whatever everybody else's vote was worth. Yeah. So it's balanced. Well,
I mean, some people, and it's actually written into the Hive FAQ, where, you know, some people see the downvote as a way to correct the rewards for a post. And so if you think something's overcompensated, then you can downvote it to where you think it ought to be. So maybe you don't give it a full downvote. You think, okay, $50 is too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a $10 post. I'll downvote it 30%.
Yeah.
You know, and then that guy's, okay, he made $10 now because of me. If someone disagrees, they can come along and upvote it and say, hey, you know, we give this guy 100% upvote and increase his earnings by $2.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see any reason why
that's
that
kind of how the voting system is
kept.
designed, right?
Yeah, I like that feature too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of the way it's designed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, if I have a huge stake in the system, like I'm like super whale dude, and I 100% upvote you, and that gives you $500 for you posting your cat picture. Okay, that's just stupid. Okay, that picture took you how much work and how much thought process and effort, you know. So yeah, this is, of course, why I also agree that we need to keep that percentage. Like, well, how much do you want to upvote? Well, by default, it's 100% unless you change it to something else. You know, like that's how we added it into the Hive5 software. Just keeping it simple. Right, because you got a lot of new people coming to Hive, and they really have no idea. Like, well, what is this? Oh, okay. So if I upvote, he gets some money. Yeah, a little bit. Well, you know, but adding these other. Here's the thing that I learned even back in early '90s, 1993, 34, 1995. If you start bolting on, if you start adding too many features to your front end. Like, oh, let's make it so the user can just click this now and do that, and then they can click on that. And okay, you're making it more difficult on the user now. Adding all these features is great, but you need to have a plan, like this everything app and all this kind of shit. What you're doing is you're creating a mess for the user, and you're milking the, you know, whoever is paying you to do all these kind of things. Also creating a new KYC system. Anyway, another tangent. Keep it simple. Keep it stupid simple so that even my grandma can use it. I use that with my guys all the time. I say, look, is that grandma friendly? No. My grandma could not figure that out. But this is why we use proper use of colors. This is why we keep one big ass button right here so that if you're ever giving like phone tech support to the person, you say, hey, do you see that big yellow button right there? Yeah, click that. Oh, yeah. Oh, I see. Now, yeah, see, it's super easy. So adding this little slider thing is a nice feature to have for how much you upvote, how much you downvote, and whatever. So I don't want to see it get lost. But I also don't want to force this on people, this kind of stuff, because there's so much being added to Hive on front ends too, that you're making it actually more difficult to onboard people. And I see a lot of people complaining about that.
Yep.
Oh, it's too hard to onboard people and whatever. You know, here's another tangent. I compared that to signing up for Twitter. When you sign up for Twitter, they have tons of KYC. They want your email address. They want you to check an SMS code on your phone. They want your blood sample. They want a piece of your hair. They want, you know what I mean? Now they want your COVIDs. certificate, whatever. You know, this kind of it only gets worse. If you ever ask me for my email or my phone number or whatever, forget it. That's KYC, man. That's none of your damn business. Yeah. Keep it stupid simple for people to use this.
Yep.
So anyway, sorry, that was a freaking hell of a tangent, but
yeah,
that's kind of what got me going on, because of this this slider thing and how much. And yeah, that's great. I mean, I think starting out with a simpler system would help onboarding on Hive a lot, and stop this, you know, getting destroyed on your first day on Hive.
Yep.
So, okay, the final one, point number 4. You guys probably more than ready for that by now.
Nah, it's good. Getting hidden or muted. This is actually a very important one.
Yeah. So getting hidden or muted. So if this guy gets 10 upvotes and 16 downvotes, you know, on the 1-for-1 voting model that we've been talking about, that's 51% more downvotes than upvotes. Then his individual post or comment will get flagged on chain as unliked, quote unquote, and then muted by default until enough upvotes are received to reveal his post again. This is also not time limited. So, excuse me, if somebody posts porn or something really, really objectionable, right? There needs to be a way to hide that from the front ends, right? And we do this in HiveTube too. Like, there's some annoying accounts that always post, oh, you're now a whale, now you're a minnow or whatever. That is so annoying. So in the code, we just hide those posts automatically from the front end. Like, I just got tired of looking at them. You know, it's filling up the comments page and all this kind of stuff. But how do we hide posts, or how do we mute them? And that is through downvotes. So anybody who's saying, oh, Ken doesn't want downvotes anymore, he should just go to blurs and blah, blah. Shut up, stupid. This is, we need downvotes still. Actual rewards payouts will remain at the 6.5 days too. So that also remains unchanged.
So this would really change the current reputation system in some way, because currently your reputation goes up when people vote on your content, goes down when they downvote your content. And if your reputation goes down to a certain level, then you're kind of screwed. Your post won't be seen by anybody. So what I find interesting, though, about the reputation system is users with a lower reputation score cannot affect people with a higher reputation score. I think that's imbalanced.
Yeah.
You know, so if you have a guy with a reputation of 25 and he downvotes a guy with a reputation of 75, even at 100% downvote, that's not going to affect that guy that much.
Not at all.
Not hardly. It won't even be noticeable.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I don't really see the point in having that on there.
Yeah.
You know, let it downvote be an downvote, and upvote be an upvote.
Right. It was 1-for-1. You know, this is like I was just telling about my friend last week, who he's brand new on Hive. He's you know, you start out at a 25 or something, and I upvoted him, and that took him up to like a 29 or 30 or something like that. And then guess what? Since this guy posts conspiracy type of stuff, right? He gets one downvote from, I'm not going to name the guy, and destroyed this new user who has 1 million followers outside of Hive, by the way, destroys him down to a -5 reputation. A -5. Welcome to Hive. Wow. You know, this is why really this whole Hive power thing, and why people are literally in fear on Hive. You got to watch what you say. Yeah, you got to watch what you say. You don't yell fire in a theater, okay? But I should be able to do my own research and post my research online. Here's the facts. Here's my sources. If you don't agree with it, fine. Then either don't upvote it or go ahead and downvote it. If you totally disagree and you don't think that people should see my research, that's fine. But you don't destroy my whole freaking reputation and all the hard work that I've done over the years from one guy. And one guy can do that to me right now, even at a 70. He could completely destroy me. It's like, this is just, I'm just, in my life, I'm tired of walking on eggshells.
Right. Just to be clear, this isn't quote unquote censorship, because you could still have your own front end that doesn't look at that.
Yeah.
So just wanted to throw that out there before somebody starts screaming, "No, that's censorship at the blockchain level." No, it's not.
It's really the beauty of the blockchain is anyone can build their own front end. I mean, you can, you know, that's a great thing to say. Some people don't have the skill to do that, but they have the opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a big benefit to the blockchain. Whether you build your front end or not, you have that opportunity.
Yep.
You know, and this is political, but it's been proven over and over again. Democracies never work out. Never. It's mob rule. That's a fact.
Yep.
Democracy is mob rule. And that's what exactly what we have on Hive right now. The mob being one whale, right? Or a curator who has 50 or 100 or more people that says, yeah, you can go ahead and upvote for me and, you know, forever, and here's my power. Well, here's a funny thing, is this Hive5 post that's up there right now, version 1.3.1, right? And one of the guys who is in that curation trail for that guy who did the downvote is kind of a decent friend of mine, and he agrees with most of the stuff that's on this Hive5 post. And he's like, I'm like, so I pinged him. I was like, dude, you downvoted the post? What's up? Should I change something or what? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm on that guy's downvote trail, and he's been kind of on a tear lately. I'm like, you see, now this is just a prime example of what I'm talking about. So when you delegate your power to someone else, they become more powerful. And this is, after a while, that person gets more and more powerful until his power is put in check. It's constrained. It's time limited. And it has to be individual from active users.
Yeah, but you can override the curation trail. If you disagree with it, you can go and upvote it.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Hey, we do have a question.
If you're following curation trail and you think and they downvote something and you think, that shouldn't be downvoted, you can upvote it. You can override that because it's your own individual account. If they upvote it 50% and you think it should be 100%, you can upvote 100%. So you can always change that.
But you never see the same amount of upvotes, because when these downvotes start, you get those downvote wars, right? I think it's like Marky and Zelda or whatever. Those guys were fighting each other to the bone, man.
Yes, they
were. Like, you guys, this is just so ridiculous, you guys. Do you see what's happening here? And it's causing all this dissension and anger, and people are tired of it. And oh God, it's so frustrating because I know the solution. Right? Can we all just get along? That would be a good solution. But
I will say one thing.
Give peace a chance.
At least Marky walked away from it, but it caused him to quit posting on Hive.
Yeah.
Which is total bullshit.
Yeah.
By the way,
downvote wars are dumb. Yeah, they're dumb.
Edwin over in the Matrix server is asking what the actual development cost and time would be to construct an alternative front end.
We can't know that until this document, this living document. Right now it's at version 1.3.1 is come to a point where we're not seeing any more comments on it in the comment section below, so that it can be amended and revised again and again. So Like I said, we're at version 1.3.1 right now. There might be a version 1.2, 3.2, or even a 1.4, but I kind of doubt it. I think we're getting pretty close here. And once we have a final version of this document, and there isn't really any more proposed changes or things like that, now we can talk to the developers and say, okay, you will be really good for this part here. You do that part, and you do this. Okay. I listed
so
like
you're
10
actually
different...
going to write this code and create a soft fork.
No, I'm not saying that.
No.
No.
You're not saying that. Okay.
No, the idea is to get it worked into the standard Hive.
Yeah, and you know, this is the thing, and I know that the whales are gonna now have their power limited, and they don't like that. So of course they're not gonna vote for this. So forget about it ever getting voted in, like via the DHF proposal system or anything like that. This has to be more of a, look guys, this needs to happen, and I have commit rights on the repo. This is how we're going to do it, and then getting the witnesses to adopt it, and the exchanges to adopt the fork if necessary, if a fork does need to happen. That's not a fun process, but I'm sorry, but in Hive, in my opinion, Hive is not fun right now. It's really become exhausting. Have you seen my gray hair? Have you seen it?
This is sort of where the tiny dot philosophy comes in.
Yes. Yes. Anybody who has not seen the tiny dot video from Lark and Rose, look that up on YouTube sometime, or on vigilante.tv. You'll love it. Yes. Because it clearly portrays exactly what is happening on Hive right now and what needs to happen. Or the people come together again because they have everybody divided right now and living in fear.
Yep.
When really the power is in the hands of the people, and the people say, no, that's enough now. You're weak and we are strong, and this is how it's going to happen. And if you don't like it, that's okay. We can always spin up another chain. That's very, very simple. It'll take me about an hour. And we know plenty of people who can code these things too. Now, coders are expensive, but
yes, they are.
You know, it is what it is. We'll make this happen, because this is just something that's been bugging me for the last, well, since BitShares days. BitShares had the exact same issues, and look at BitShares now. Their token is sitting at 1 cent for the last 5 years. So, and that's, sorry, but that's what's going to happen to Hive. Hive cannot move forward, and it's not growing either.
No, it's
Hive
not.
cannot grow as long as you have onboarding issues and people fighting each other, and it's a toxic environment.
It was the post I read just a month
I think a lot of that
ago,
does contribute.
It was actually shrinking.
Yeah, all those.
Yeah,
all those factors are contributing to Hive not growing, but we're also in a bear market, and everything declines in a bear market. The real test is going to be when we transfer into a bull market, which could be very soon. If we're still falling in our numbers, not growing.
Look at what happened. Kicker. Look at what happened during the COVID's lockdown, right? You had a whole bunch of people sitting at home blogging because they got nothing better to do, right?
Right.
So Hive saw some more activity. But how many of those people, what percentage of those people actually stick around? You know, if you've got a bot out there just generating accounts, for example, like one platform that I'm going to remain unnamed, you've got, oh, God, we're bringing in all these users and whatever. Yeah, I see your bot creating a bunch of users. That's real neat and everything. Thanks for taking up all those cool usernames. But I don't see any of these people, less than 1%, I'll be fair, that are actually sticking around and contributing continuous value to Hive. Or even one post a week would be nice. No, they're not. They're just not. So these are just, look, Hive5 is our attempt to at least put all of these things that people are complaining about into one document. This document is for ideas. We're not dictators. We're not somebody who's going to say, we're going to do it this way. But no. We're asking for your input. Please comment below. If you like it, upvote it or downvote it, whatever. But at least leave your comments, whether they be pro or con, and let us know which items need to be changed, or like, hey, this will never work, or whatever, because we proved that back in before the last hard fork and so on. Like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. So please teach me. I'm all ears, man. My goal is to make Hive great again. Yes. That sounds so gay. Anyway.
Great.
just don't.
Yeah. Do I get a red Maha hat?
Yeah. Maha.
Yeah. That's the name of the episode. Maha.
Oh goodness. Yeah, well, we got through 2B, I think.
I think we got through it. So that takes up the hour for today. But yeah, 2B on the hive5.info site. Please, anybody who's listening to this, please leave a comment. Yes. Let us know what you think should change or shouldn't change, because I'll probably agree with you on most of it. It's just these things about Hive power is really, in my opinion, probably the most major thing that has been detrimental to Hive. Because why are people leaving Hive? Because of the way they're treated.
It's true.
Yeah. I think it's a difficult challenge to overcome. There's no easy answer here. You're not going to make everybody happy, for sure. Even if you made some positive changes. It's not going to make everybody happy.
Want some water?
But a lot of these people that have issues, they're not even on the chain anymore. So, I mean, is there even a chance of bringing them back? This is a really complex issue.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially if you went off and started your own chain, and I don't know if you guys ever met Fuzzy.
I'll be honest. I've seen several of these forks from Steam It and Hive, or alternative chains. People that left the blockchain and started their own.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of them succeed.
No, they're not going anywhere either. But I think the majority of them,
you're talking about,
all they really did on their fork was just to remove the downvote button. And as we've shown in this document, that doesn't really fix the problem in the code or psychologically either. The way people think about the chain.
Well, and there have been some that didn't necessarily fork the chain, but they went out and started their own platform on a different chain. There was one that was started on the Neo chain, and it was disastrous. They implemented actually some of the things you're talking about here, and it was a big cluster. I mean, they survived all of 9 months.
Oh, jeez.
They were gone. Wow. They went belly up.
Yeah. Was it a rug pull, or was it actually some guy, legit trying to really solve the issues with social media?
I think it was a developer who had some wild ideas. He didn't like Hive. That was pretty clear. He had a successful development business going, from what I understand, but his ideas regarding the blockchain and the platform, some of them were good, but the implementation was just awful.
Maybe you rushed it or something.
Yeah, and I don't know. They spent a lot of money really fast. They got venture money to do it, and they blew through that.
The problem.
Tried to crowdfund the rest of it, and that didn't go well.
Okay.
And they had no way for people to stake their earnings. So everybody was cashing out as soon as they got anything.
Oh, no.
And it crashed.
Oh, yeah. 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 You know, I think that actually this isn't my idea. This was from Claire Artista. She just recently spun up her podcast on Cascard, but she was saying something about how people are actually thinking differently now about how social media is, because people are leaving Facebook for a certain reason. They're leaving Twitter for a certain reason. And is Hive even really solving that problem? Because if you're leaving Twitter because you're tired of being shadow banned and demonetized and stuff like that, well, come to Hive where, well, the same thing will happen to you.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Well, you can't change human nature. You're going to have problems anywhere you go. It doesn't matter where you go, what system you're in, what country you're in, what state you're in, what city you're in, what platform you're on. You're going to have somebody who doesn't like you, and they're going to do nasty things to you.
Yep.
Yin yang.
Yeah. So you just got to figure out a way to maneuver through that and navigate that and create a system that's fair, even as it deals with the human nature side of things.
Yeah, exactly. Code is law. And this is hopefully, if we can just implement a couple of these little, I mean, they're actually quite simple in my opinion. If we can just get the verbiage right, then the developer can understand it and it can be actually coded properly. So yeah, but I you know, like Claire was saying, I really think that people are thinking differently about this whole thing, just rethinking the whole social media thing. Like, well, what do I really want out of this? Do I want an income? Am I trying to get 10,000 new users? God, her podcast is really good. I listen to it every day now.
What's her name?
But her name is Claire Artista, and she's on Cast Garden now. And she brings up so many good points in her podcast about how all this stuff works and how people think and what causes divorce. You know, this literally like the way that people think. Okay, here's what the problem is. Everybody wants to be right. Everybody wants to be the richest guy in the room. Well, not me, and some people want to have, you know what I mean? Like have, take. Okay, you need to balance out your own life and look at yourself first.
Yeah.
What do you really want? What matters more to you? Like I say this to my kids too. What matters more, money or stuff?
Stuff.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry. Love or stuff? What matters more, love or stuff? Do you care more about getting lots of money and getting lots of stuff? Or would you rather have freedom and love and balance in your life? There's a reason why successful people become successful people too, because they smile more. Why are they smiling more? Why? Because it's something that they're forcing themselves to do, like those laughing things, whatever. It seems silly, but it works. Just force yourself to smile. If you smile more, you can actually become more successful.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I smile all the time, and I'm not successful at all.
Yeah. You also know how to clear a room.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I'll let Claire explain it. She's much better at it than I am, that's for sure.
That's one of the funnest things to do is just be out in public by yourself and just sit there and smile.
Yeah.
And you'll see people
Wonder
look
what
at
you're
you.
up to, huh?
Yeah, they'll look at you like you're crazy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's a good note to end on right there.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's ended on a little bit of a positive note there. So, but we need people's input on this stuff, man.
Yes.
I mean, we've got to solve this everybody wanting power thing. That, I think, is what has caused this out of control democracy, mob rule thing on Hive. And it can be reversed, but we just have to get the word out there so that enough people see this document with each revision of it and say, yeah, I think this, or I disagree with that, or whatever. Add your comment to this document, please.
Yes. We've got to have the back and forth.
Yeah. Communication.
Yeah. Yep. That's a good way to end it. Yeah, thanks a lot, Ken, for coming on and explaining to be or not to be.
To be or not to be, yeah.
And then we'll pick
Well, I
it up.
tried. This was the most difficult point, I think, on this entire document. So next week should be a little bit easier, where we get into rights of the living and natural law.
Yeah.
I put law into this because I think it really relates to what's going on here too. Natural law versus maritime law and so on. So
And the rest of it should kind of like be smooth sailing, trying to get through it. So,
yeah. Today was the most difficult point. We
Right
really
on.
need people's comments on this.
Yes, please.
Right on.
So without further ado, you listening to the radio will return you back to the regularly scheduled playlist, and you watching on Cast Garden, where you're going to hear a couple of seconds of a song and then it's going to end. So we'll talk to you guys again next time. Be good, be safe, and never ever let your stick your finger where you wouldn't stick your face, and keep a smile on your face too while you're doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now on air.
Defluenced Radio.
Simply the best.
Cue music now.